Who doesn't love stepping into a bakery where the air is thick with the warm, sweet scent of cinnamon? The smell alone is enough to make your mouth water as you think of biting into a soft, gooey cinnamon roll, its center oozing with sugary, spiced goodness. But here's the question. How do factories manage to recreate that same irresistible flavor and texture? The process of making cinnamon rolls starts long before the dough is shaped. Just like in a small bakery, the secret to delicious cinnamon rolls lies in using top-quality ingredients. While smaller operations might involve bakers manually gathering bags of flour, sugar, and butter, factories take this to a whole new level of precision and scale. In factories, flour and sugar are stored in massive silos, while butter, eggs, and milk are kept in temperature-controlled tanks to ensure they stay fresh. Automation is key here. Advanced weighing systems carefully measure the exact amounts of each ingredient for every batch. Once all the ingredients are gathered, it's time to mix the dough. Factories rely on enormous dough mixers that can handle hundreds of pounds of ingredients in one go. In contrast to the smaller bakery setting, where the dough is mixed in manageable batches, these industrial mixers can produce enough dough for thousands of rolls in a single batch. Mixing involves first combining the wet ingredients, milk, eggs, and butter, with dry ingredients like flour, sugar, salt, and yeast. Factories often add ingredients gradually to control texture. The key here is to mix at a low speed initially to develop the gluten, giving the dough its elasticity and softness. Once the dough has reached the right consistency, butter is added slowly to enrich the flavor and texture. In smaller bakeries, this step is often more hands-on, with bakers adjusting the mixing times and speeds manually. But whether it's a factory or bakery, the goal remains the same: to create a dough that's elastic, soft, and perfect for rising. After mixing, the dough is left to rest. In factories, the dough is transferred into large, climate-controlled containers where it ferments, allowing the yeast to activate. Smaller bakeries often shape the dough into individual balls and score them to relax the dough and allow it to rise evenly. This step helps maintain the dough's shape and texture during baking. In contrast, factory setups use troughs or proofing cabinets to manage large quantities of dough, ensuring each batch rises uniformly. Once the dough has rested, it's time to roll it out. Factories rely on dough sheeters, massive machines that roll the dough into long, thin sheets. In smaller bakeries, this is done manually, but the principles remain the same. The dough needs to be rolled to just the right thickness. Too thick, and it won't bake properly. Too thin, and the rolls will dry out. Here's where the magic happens: the addition of cinnamon and sugar. In factories, sugar spreading machines are used to spread the cinnamon sugar mixture evenly over the buttered dough. This automation ensures that each cinnamon roll has just the right amount of filling, providing that perfect burst of sweetness in every bite. Once the cinnamon sugar mixture is applied, it's time to roll the dough into logs. In a factory, this process is automated with rolling machines that roll the dough tightly enough to hold the filling, but not so tight that it squeezes out. After rolling, precision cutters slice the dough into individual rolls, ensuring that each one is the same size. In smaller bakeries, this step is more personal. Bakers twist the dough by hand, ensuring each bun has its unique signature while still following the same process. Proofing is the process of letting the dough rise one final time before baking. In factories, this is done in proofing chambers, which maintain the perfect temperature and humidity for the yeast to activate and the dough to rise. This can take several hours, during which the dough doubles in size. The key is controlling the environment to ensure that every roll rises evenly, creating a light and fluffy texture. Once the rolls have risen, they're ready for baking. Factories use conveyor ovens where trays of cinnamon rolls move slowly through the oven, baking evenly from top to bottom. These ovens are ideal for large-scale production because they allow for continuous baking. As one tray finishes, the next one is ready, moving through, ensuring a constant flow of fresh cinnamon rolls. Smaller bakeries rely on traditional commercial ovens. Bakers spray the rolls with egg wash and sprinkle granulated sugar on top to give them that golden, shiny finish. Once they've cooled, automated glazing machines apply the final touch, the sweet, sticky glaze. Some rolls get a light drizzle, while others are coated in thick icing, depending on the product. In smaller bakeries, this process is more hands-on. The glaze is often drizzled by hand, with bakers ensuring each roll gets just the right amount of sweetness. The result is the same: delicious cinnamon rolls ready for the final step. The last step in the factory is packaging. Automated systems place the cinnamon rolls in boxes or trays, ensuring they're sealed and fresh. Quality control systems check each roll for consistency in size, shape, and glaze before packaging. Once packed, the rolls are ready to be shipped to stores and bakeries around the world. And that's how cinnamon rolls are made in factories. From gathering ingredients to rolling the dough, adding the perfect amount of cinnamon sugar filling, and finally baking and glazing. It's a journey of precision, teamwork, and technology. Factories can produce thousands of these delightful rolls each day. But whether they come from a small bakery or a large factory, they always deliver that same irresistible sweetness. So the next time you bite into a cinnamon roll, remember the journey it took to get there. If you learned a lot from this video so far, make sure to click on the next one for more unbelievable processes in factories.